I was just working to survive. I don't really have any friends there because I spent so many years abroad. So I was a little bit kind of, I wasn't lonely because I had my family, obviously. If it's your first time to the channel, I was married to 33 years to a woman from Korea. We separated on good terms. She now lives in the UK. I live here in Thailand. But one of the main reasons is, as I say, I felt like I was in a rat race. You know, you're just working to pay your bills. There's no kind of social life, not really. And that was one of the things that actually put me off the UK and made me think about getting away. The second thing is just why one of the reasons I decided to come to Thailand is my money goes a lot further. Now, I could have gone to the Philippines, I could have gone to Laos or Cambodia. The main reason I came to Thailand is because I've worked here for many years. I've had many, many holidays here. So I know Thailand pretty well. I wouldn't say I was an expert, but I'd say I'm quite tuned into it, as it were. So my money goes a lot further here. You know, people say Thailand's getting more expensive, and like everywhere else in the world, the fact is it is. But it's still a lot cheaper living here in Thailand. I'm not going to break down specific examples because I've made videos on costs in Thailand before, but just general things like transport, taxis, eating out in local restaurants. It's much more affordable than what it is in my own country in the UK, and I guess where you come from as well. Number 3 on my list is the warm climate. Now, if you're not from the UK or you've not been to the UK, unless you've been living under a rock, you must realise the weather in the UK is absolutely awful. I think we get about 2 weeks a year where it's hot. You know, we haven't got any air conditioning. People panic a little bit. But for the most part, England's a pretty cold place. It rains a lot and it's pretty miserable in the winter. It gets dark at 3:30 in the afternoon. And as I say, very miserable. We don't have that here in Thailand. It's very, very humid. That can be uncomfortable at times. But generally speaking, the weather's very good here. And that appeals to me personally. I fell in love with the culture. This is my number 4. I fell in love with the culture a long, long time ago, and it's still another reason for me to be here in Thailand. The warmth of the people, the food, the whole thing with Thailand, you know, how they look after the elderly, the whole family unit thing that we've lost in the UK now, and probably some of the countries where you're watching this video from. Number 5, life moves at a slower, more peaceful pace, and that is true. Back in the UK, everybody's in a rush to get somewhere. They haven't got time to kind of do things in a relaxed mode. Here in Thailand, things are much more relaxed. People do things in a much more relaxed way. And of course, what that does, it relieves stress, because stress can be a killer. Stress can lead to a heart attack. And I was very stressed out in the UK, partly because of what was going on with my family, but also partly of just my everyday life, having to work, pay taxes, hoping I've got enough money to pay the bills at the end of the month. I still have a little bit of stress here sometimes. Life's not perfect. Life's not going to be perfect wherever you live, but it's a lot less stressful here and it's a lot slower pace, and that's another reason for me to live in Thailand. Number 6 on my list is I was basically tired of being treated like a number. You know, anything you do, anything I did in the UK, I don't really know how to explain it. I'm sure you know what I mean when I say I was treated like a number. There was no kind of, nothing was personal. It was all, you know, I just can't explain that one. I know what I felt, but I can't really explain it here. Number 7 is the food is incredible and affordable. Well, I've touched on this already. And one thing I do here a lot more than I did in the UK, a heck of a lot more, is I go out to eat because it's just so affordable. Western food here in Thailand is just as pricey as it is in the West. You go into a McDonald's or a Burger King or something like that, and I know people will make the comment, you're in Thailand, you should be eating Thai food. And my answer to that is, you know, would you expect a Thai person in London to be living on sausage rolls, sandwiches and fish and chips for the rest of their life? Of course not. You eat what you feel like eating. Thai food's delicious. I eat it all the time. But it's very affordable here. You know, you can go out and have a meal by yourself, for instance, for as little as 50 baht if you eat on the street, or, you know, you go into a half-decent restaurant, Thai restaurant, you're looking at a couple of $100 baht, £5, $6 US, 10 Australian dollars, very, very cheap. I think in the UK now, when I go out for a meal in the UK, I'm not talking about a takeaway kebab or something like that, but I'm talking about going into a proper restaurant and having a sit-down meal. Nothing fancy, just a sit-down meal. 3 years ago when I left, I'd be looking at the best part of £30, £35. I'm sure it's a lot more than that now. Number 8 on my list is I wanted adventure, not existence. Well, again, in the UK, I felt like I was just kind of existing. Again, I keep touching on this point. I was waking up, I was working, I was looking at my bank statements, do have enough to pay the money. And that isn't living, that is just existing. Out here in Thailand, I'm living a nice life. I've got a car and a scooter. I'm not worried about finances. I can afford the lifestyle I have. I get to go about, do what I want to do, and I just feel like I have more of a life living here in Thailand. Number 9 on my list is the locals are kind and welcoming. And again, if you went into a pub in the UK, for instance, and there's a guy sitting alone at the bar, you sit down a couple of stools down from him, try and strike up a conversation. He might be polite to you, but overall, he's going to be suspicious of you and not really want to get too friendly with you. Here it's completely different. The people are so warm. You walk down the street and smile at people, they'll smile back at you. There's no kind of bad feeling towards you, and it's just, again, it's a lot more relaxing. Number 10, I wanted to be somewhere people still say hello to strangers. And again, this touches on my last point. If you meet somebody, a Thai person, for instance, that you haven't met before, even if it's something just like buying a pot of noodles, you can strike up a friendly conversation. Depending on your level of Thai and their level of English, you can have a nice, friendly conversation. That isn't always possible in the West, not where I come from anyway. Number 11, I love the mix of the city buzz and the quiet escapes. So living here in Bangkok, it's great. It's a capital city. It's a flagship city. It's got everything I need. I'll probably be moving out eventually because of my age now. I'm looking for a much more relaxed lifestyle, and I'd probably move to one of the provinces. But what I like about here is the infrastructure is so good. So the taxis are cheap, the BTS, the MRT. Bangkok itself is great, but if you want to get away just a couple of hours, 2-3 hours, there's so many nice coastal towns and small villages and that you can get away to that are very welcoming. The hotels are cheap, they're easy to get to. In the UK, for instance, if I wanted to go away somewhere for a night, I'll be looking at the best part of £100, £70 for a hotel, £60. I'd probably end up eating fish and chips out on the street. Here, even the budget hotels for kind of 700-800 baht a night are really good quality, with air conditioning. Again, the food is cheap.